Dr. Amy here, president and co-founder at Animal Chiropractic Education Source. There are 3 reasons the dog owners do not seek chiropractic care. If you're an animal chiropractor, you might know these things. If you are a dog owner, you probably don't know these things, and you should be aware of them because you may find yourself in this position. Your dog is paralyzed. You take it to the first veterinarian you can get into. So you go to the emergency room or you go to your regular veterinarian, and this is how the scenario plays out. You're panicked. You love this dog. You didn't expect something like this to happen. It was acute. It was an emergency. And they tell you we need to do an MRI, which is very expensive, and surgery. And you weren't expecting any of those things. So you're a little panicked and confused because you can't imagine how this animal, who was doing fine as far as you know yesterday, is now unable to walk, can't get himself up, can't go to the bathroom outside on his own, all those things. They say, or you could euthanize him because he won't get better. And it's been their experience that they don't get better. And what they will then do is say, well, but if you're not ready for that, we can try these drugs. And they will give you tramadol, gabapentin, methylcarbamol, which is a muscle relaxer, and Rimadyl. Those 4 drugs, because that's all they have in their arsenal. That's all they have to give. So now you have done the only thing you knew how to do, and that was take your dog to the vet, number 1. And then the veterinarian that you know, like, and trust said, well, if you're not going to do life-saving surgery, here's a second thing you can test. You can try this. And you have all your hopes sitting on top of those 4 drugs. All of your hope is right there. And then someone says, oh, you should take him to a chiropractor. And so you give us a call in a last-ditch effort. And you say, I've already spent $11,000 on this dog because you got x-rays. And, they said with their magic x-ray vision, oh, there's a disc right there. You can't see a disc on an x-ray, just so you know. It's not visible. It's not diagnostic. Or you maybe did the MRI, but very few dogs make it out of an MRI alive if they don't go to surgery. I'll tell you that for sure. You have to be a very strong dog owner to be able to say, we're going to wake him up. I'm not going to surgery. I've got other choices. So that's the scenario. I hope you don't ever find yourself in it, but that's what happens. And here are the 3 reasons it's difficult for those dog owners who are in that scenario to come see an animal chiropractor. 1, they don't know the animal chiropractor. They've never met him before. And that animal chiropractor is going to tell them things that seem impossible because they're going to tell them, your dog, who was fine a few days ago and is now paralyzed, can heal on his own. All right? They've already been to a veterinarian who told them this is almost untreatable without a lot of money and a big expense and a life-saving surgery. We can't help your dog. This is a veterinarian they've known their dog's whole life. This is where the dog grew up because they've seen him twice a year and they recognize their name and they recognize the credentials. As an animal chiropractor, they don't know you. They don't know that you're a doctor. They don't recognize your credentials. And they don't understand that the life-saving treatment you're going to give this animal is not going to save the dog. It's the dog who's going to save the dog. So 3 reasons why dog owners don't seek chiropractic care for their dogs. Number 1 is they trust their veterinarian who doesn't have any training in animal chiropractic. And so that veterinarian can't advise them effectively. Number 2, they've put this dog on drugs and it's their last hope. And they're not going to give up their last hope for their dog to get better because they've already foregone the life-saving surgery that they can't afford. So the drugs are their last hope. That's number 2. And number 3, they don't know you. So when we treat animals with chiropractic, we have to realize that what we are giving those people is their hope back. If we can give them one of those 3 things, their hope back, then they will subscribe. They will understand. They will begin to follow chiropractic as a treatment modality. When we can't give them hope because they, number 1, don't know you. Number 2, they have trusted someone who told them there's no solution without a lot of money. And number 3, they've given them their last potential hope, these pills. We have to be able to give them hope and faith that their dog has the ability to heal. So if that dog had a wound that needed stitches, first of all, no wound needs stitches, just to be clear. If the dog had a wound that was bleeding and open and was not clean, you know and I know that if we clean that wound, the dog will heal, whether we give it stitches or not, because there's no wound that requires stitches. The body can heal that wound on its own. It doesn't even require a Band-Aid. It will heal on its own. We can keep it clean, and that will help it heal more effectively. So we have to realize that it's not us against them. It's not animal chiropractors against veterinarians. It's a difference in paradigms. It's a difference in client understanding. It's a difference in clients recognizing that they are, looking for answers. And their first, their first knee-jerk reflex is to go to someone that they know, that they have thought about would be able to help them. And we don't want to tear that person down. We don't want to tear down the veterinarian that they have depended upon for how many years this animal's been around. We want them to know that we're there to help. We're there to help solve the problem, that the veterinarian was at their end. They didn't have a solution. So if you're a veterinarian or a chiropractor who has not added animal chiropractic to your practice, keep that in mind, that as a veterinarian, many of the things that we do, I'm a veterinarian, many of the things that we've been trained to do as veterinarians is to take away hope. I'm sorry, lady, this isn't going to work. It's time. We retract hope. Number 2, if you want more of that hope in your practice, if you want to be able to instill joy in your clients and patients, find us today at animalchiropracticeducation.com, and we will help you understand how chiropractic can resolve that problem in your practice. We'll also help you understand how to build a successful animal chiropractic practice that can supersede all of the treatment that you're doing otherwise in income and in client relationships, all of those things. Find us today at animalchiropracticeducation.com. Sign up for Intro to Animal Chiropractic. It's a free 1-hour webinar that will help you understand and clarify for you what an animal chiropractic practice can do in your practice. And number 3, if you're a chiropractor, find us today at animalchiropracticeducation.com, and we will train you to be able to help these animals without feeling like you're up against veterinarians, because it's not a win-win situation when you're fighting each other. Find us today at animalchiropracticeducation.com.